Heads it in.
How appropriate. A little bit of rolling the stones. Whoa. Grady Maguire wins a toss and kicks to the left of screen, as I say. A big welcome to a man who's made a very auspicious start to the Friday night calling team. Dwayne Russell and the master himself, Dennis Cometti. That's more your vintage, Den.
Yes, thank you, Gary. I remember them well. Played them, actually, in my prime. In theirs, too, as it turns out. St Kilda, terrific record here at the Dome. 25 wins in their last 29 games. And Nick Riewoldt, 23 goals in his last 6 against Brisbane. We've got the facts and figures that says St Kilda.
The big one, this one. Looking forward to this. From the time you get the footy fixture in November, you circle this particular battle between these two teams. It has developed into a great rivalry, and you expect it to continue tonight. And that man might start it all again.
Oh, gee, I'm looking forward to seeing him in action. There's no doubt. Let's go down the boundary. Another man I always look forward to seeing in action, Tony Jones.
I think, thank you, Gary. But, yes, thanks very much for that. Look, the Brisbane Lions would have been licking their lips when they came out for their warm-up here tonight. The ground conditions are absolutely sensational. They're bone dry. Probably no excuse for any slipping and sliding here tonight. And inside the stadium, a very muggy 23 degrees at the moment. So it's almost like old home week for the Brisbane Lions, Gary.
Yes, well, they wouldn't be too disappointed with that. I wouldn't have thought as they see the players heading out to their positions. Let's quickly head down to Dr. Peter Larkins, the best medico in the business. Doc.
Yeah, no troubles with these sides tonight too much. Just to mention that Kozitzki probably only a week away, and Luke Ball, definitely not osteitis pubis, Gary. He should be back in 1 to 2 weeks for the Saints. Good news for their fans.
Good on you, Doc.
There we go. Nick Riewoldt being picked up by the second gamer, Wade Mills.
Thursday night football, we're underway. The opening bounce, the umpires Vozzo, Rosebery and Ellis. Ackland, the first possession, a hand pass away. Black in terrific form last week. Worked out of it by Dal Santo. Hamill over the footy. Came out in interesting fashion. Montagna applies a tackle, and the umpire calls for the football.
High tackle, which way? Which way, Marty?
We have the explanation.
Right, the mark's there.
Aaron Hamill comes up with a free kick. Short one, Montagna. Down towards left half forward. Opening seconds, Thursday night football. The Saints looking for their second victory of the season. Play on the call. And so too the Lions. Opportunity for Dal Santo. 70 metres out. Spears a pass in, juggled across the line. I'm not sure it was a mark. Where's the boundary umpire? Well, it doesn't matter. It was paid. Goddard, who's centering kick. Going back, Leppich. Fingertips to it. Standing his ground was Milne. Copeland kicks into oncoming players. It ricochets back towards Power. He was dragged down. Chance now for Johnson. Lays it off. In the back pocket, Riscatelli bounces it towards halfback. Sherman through his legs. Voss, a former Brisbane Lion, goes back, wins it, lays it off. Baker. Well done, Voss. Good Shepherd. Short one is on. Hayes takes the mark.
Been in splendid form, Lenny Hayes. 26 possessions in round 1, followed by 26 possessions in round 2. Ships the ball back to Baker. And every Brisbane Lion player in front of him now. So he goes further back. The man who played the 2 games for the Brisbane Lions early in his career. Graham from centre half back. Loads up, goes long. Milne's on the move. Can he get there in time? Copeland, well, he wanted it bad. He got there, didn't mark it. Jarman slips. Milne, he gets it in the end. Chips it towards half forward. Dal Santo moving with him is Johnson. So too Michael, just inside the boundary. Can't cut it off. Gets the handball out. And it's too high. So it'll be a free kick to Nick Dal Santo just outside scoring range. Goes to the pocket for Riewoldt.
Well, the young man that Doom identified has gone. Mills to Riewoldt. You cannot, when it's a kick from 50 metres, you can't stand behind Nick Riewoldt. He presents to the footy probably better than any player in the competition.
The only thing with this is it's going to take his absolute very best from here.
Had a great kicking action last week. He got over the yips by the looks of it last week. That was a tough one, though. Misses to the near side. Only a behind.
What were you oohing about there, Den?
Just this one.
Oh, you were too.
See? It's contagious.
Yeah, I see.
There's Leppich in the back pocket.
Some pressure on Justin Leppich too. I mean, a bit of a question mark about whether he's got over this back. It's interesting they put him onto Aaron Hamill, so they're not protecting him.
Trying to put it behind him. Here's Mills towards the wing. Ackermanis lets it run on. Now a chance for Ackermanis, but he ran on. Baker's got it. Fisher Pops it back towards the wing. Fixter leads back in the race, but sorely outnumbered. Well played, Fixter. Did brilliantly and knocked it across the boundary line. Got to love that attitude. Got to love that name. I would imagine he should be a person of interest to Bruce Wayne. Up there with the Joker and the Jester and the Riddler. Tapped down by Ackland. Diving in was Charman. Voss and a whistle, and it's a free kick going to Brisbane. Will be taken by Charman.
Got a 2-game suspension in round 1 last year for charging Nick Riewoldt, of course, Jamie Charman. And it's taken out of play and we'll get a ball in. Andrew Thompson there with Black. Good game last week, Andrew Thompson.
Baker and Ackermanis, that'll be interesting. Luke Power and Rob Harvey, also a terrific matchup.
Back into play, Charman got the palm down, Baker. Now Dal Santo. Harvey back into the corridor. This looks good. It bounces for Voss. Doesn't quite bounce for him. He's forced to go back and get it. Hayes chips it wide, hoping for Fisher. Bouncing ball. Clark's after him. Fisher loops it over the top to Gehrig. Has a look at them. Goes with a handle inboard. Fiora brought into the team last week to give them run and goals and gets the first one tonight.
Only 1 goal on the board. It does appear as if the Saints have settled better. Most of the play's been in their forward half of the ground, and dangerously, they're getting possessions 10 metres inside their, if you draw the line across the centre again, they're getting possessions in and around there. The Brisbane Lions haven't really had one in their half yet.
Well, at the present time, Brisbane can't get the footy. 23 disposals to 9. 7 points the margin. Charman got it on the way down, flicks it behind. Rescatelli kicks it down towards half forward. McGrath trapped it, knocked it though to the advantage of Hayes. Maguire takes his time from half back and pinpoints the football, still inside the centre square. This is Dal Santo. So the Saints have got the energy at the moment. Kicks down towards the 50, bounces past Riewoldt. Fiora deep in the pocket, assesses it, pulls it back across the face. Gehrig third in line, hands to it, couldn't hang on. Goddard taken high, surely, and we'll get the free kick 25 metres out directly in front.
If you, at some stage, will get a look at this in replay, he's 1 amongst 4. They didn't have to go that hard at him. Early days, they just have to settle here, the Brisbane Lions, otherwise it could get out to a 3 or 4 goal lead. And you would expect with the senior players in the Brisbane lineup that they'll settle thereafter and they mightn't bridge that gap.
Goddard kicks and kicks truly.
It's a big year for Brendan Goddard as well. This is a #1 draft pick. Taking well, he's just trying to find his right position as much as anything, and that's a good attack on the footy. There's a bit of traffic around. It was Simon Black that just got the hand in there that went high. No doubt about the free kick. He's a beautiful kick of the football. He started across half forward. He's got Riewoldt, Hamill, Harvey and Gehrig around him. Now that's pretty good company to be in.
Was told by his coach to add some strength to his frame and put on 7 kilos a year ago, and when he went back to training, and Grant Thomas said if you put that strength on, he put the coach on his backside in front of the whole team and proved that he had. And it did surprise a few boys that he'd do it. Thompson takes it out of the middle, got the handball up, missed the target initially. Chip kick Baker. Riewoldt's on the lead, can't quite get there. Out of bounds will do for Leppert, you would think. He wanted to take Nick Riewoldt with him on the way, and here we go.
I think what St.Kilda fans want to see is Brendan Goddard put a couple of opposition players on their backs than Dwayno, and that's where he's got to get better.
Ackland. Was that Baker? It was. Who comes again, but there's going to be a free kick. It's going to Brisbane.
Inside 50, St Kilda already been in there 5 times for their 2 goals. Brisbane, 0 inside 50. You're yet to get within about 70.
Hamman the Fixter out of the back pocket. Charman hand passes, a good one to the wing. Voss waits for support to come between the 2 of them. They're not going too well. Eventually Power back to Voss inside the forward 50. Over the top, Voss. The other Voss. The lesser Voss, perhaps, in some eyes at least. Graham. Hayes. You heard the umpire's call. Voss did well. Maguire across the ground. Broadens the attack. It will be an attack from here too. The launch it is Fisher. The defensive side of the wing. Awkward ball. Gehrig, can he control it? Sockers it out wide. Clark leads in the race. With some time, Clark. Waiting for it, Michael. Plenty of time. The fans have not forgotten or forgiven. Clark to half forward.
Jonathan Brown about to send the Lions inside 50. Pokes it wide instead.
Got Bradshaw just with Voss.
German and it kicked into the oncoming man. Still a chance for the Lions. Thompson chasing Black as he has done from the opening bounce and will get a ball in.
Justin Levitt here.
Whoa!
He's in a bit of trouble, Justin Levitt.
Oh, dear.
Now, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's not conclusive from our angle. You don't see contact. You don't see contact to the face.
Why is he swatting flies?
Well, I don't know what's happened. Well, let's say that the other angle shows he doesn't make contact. It's not conclusive.
I'll get the other angle.
So this is Ackland. Have a look at that again from another angle, perhaps, Stern. Mill yet to kick a goal this year. Spears the pass to Hamill. And Hamill also yet to kick a goal this year. Riewoldt's leading from the square. It's in front of him. Can he get there? The bounce. Tucked into the pocket. G. beat Mills. Gets back onto it. Runs away and slots the goal.
Superstar.
Brilliant.
Super player. We know what Nick Riewoldt is capable of. We have to work out Wade Mills. He's listed at 196 centimetres. He's a good running athlete. But one thing I had a query just from watching him the 1 week last week, he doesn't stop and start all that quickly. And he seems to be on railway tracks in that he runs straight lines. See how Riewoldt just runs a little veer on him at the end. Seems more accustomed or attuned to centre half back where he's already in motion.
How you going, Gaz? Angling for that other angle.
It was off the ball, so we just got the one look at it. But just on this bit of play here, what the people taking notes on this game would say is, oh, Mills, turning circle, not great. Can get turned around and run under the footy. So that's what Riewoldt's done there.
The margin is 19 points. Ackland on the way down that time. Riscatelli out wide. The kick from Copeland inside the forward 50. Good mark, Voss stretching.
Thanks, mate.
Needs to settle them.
That's on, Michael, where he is.
His role, sorry, Dean, his role's going to change, isn't it, throughout the year? I think Lee Matthews flagged that through the week. The days of him just crashing and bashing and dominating the centre square are gone, and he'll spend a bit of time up forward.
Jonathan Brown effectively takes himself out of the play, at least initially. He's doubling back now as Voss kicks from 51 metres out, sets it right. It stays right, so behind. And the Saints very good last week at bringing it in quickly. Let's see what they do. Hutchton does that now. To the pocket and Fisher. Ackland is breaking. This is the kick, needs to be precise. Harvey is running alongside, thought about it.
Has to wait now.
Not to.
Now, Gehrig's taken Michael away from the goal square, taking him right up the ground here.
Harvey chips it towards Gehrig. Back of the pack. Chance here for the first game of Shoney Stiller. Chips it over the top.
Thanks, Robert.
Power. 26 possessions last week. Luke Power goes to Michael. And he gets the booze. Steps around a couple. Chips it wide and Brennan. Kicked 4 goals in round 1 against the Saints in that infamous game last year. Jared Brennan, but only ended up playing 5 games for the year.
No, Michael could get used here again if he pushes up.
Chip kick is perfect to Bradshaw. He might be within range. He wants to load up and go to Charman in the square. Charman, Brown, both there, and it's been marked by Charman.
Clever mark.
A clever mark when you got Jonathan Brown and Maguire standing behind you, and there's the contact that wasn't made from Leppich.
He didn't say it wasn't made. He said it was inconclusive.
How's that nose that got out there? Yeah, mate.
This is it. Just some sinus problems from Brennan.
Why do they do it on Friday nights? We've discussed that before, haven't we?
The last thing you think about when you're out there, though.
Jarman lines them up, kicks the first goal for the Lions.
He's got some presence, Jamie Charman, hasn't he? I mean, he's a big body, doesn't mind, as you can see right there, doesn't mind crashing in.
He's not the best ruckman in the league, but if the game is bang crash at the centre bounce, he's the best.
Oh, some good coverage there from Brown too. Have a look at this at the back.
And the pretend feign mark to protect his back. That fell into his arms.
Let's go, boys. All right. Play footy.
Let's go down to the dock.
Yeah, that big fly on his nose that gets swatted at has ended up in quite a lot of blood coming from the nostril. They've patted it very heavily to try and keep him on the ground, but he's bleeding from that non-hit.
I wonder what stage of this game the concession will come.
Liston v Cassius Clay, eh? The phantom punch. Off the ball, this is Hayes. He's on the wing. Out wide, Schwarz. 19 plays 7. Midway point, opening term. Thursday night football. Great night in Melbourne. Big crowd. McWalter, 75 metres out. Harvey offers. That's ignored. It's the call.
Riewoldt has offered 4 leads. One's been ignored, and the other 3 have dropped at his feet so far.
Ooh, hot. Meantime, back at the football. In trouble.
Good decision.
And penalised is Montagna. Running away, this is McGrath. Nothing on up the ground, so he has to hesitate. In fact, he stops on the wing. Goes to Power, back to McGrath. 55 metres out. Runs inside the 50. Vacant square. And he hits the behind post. So out of bounds on the full. Interesting. Back down the ground. Technically, if the umpire says play on Luke and your name is Andrew, how do you stand?
I think you got to read between the lines. Michael's gone back to fullback on the Riewoldt.
Glad they've lengthened that behind post over there too. That would have been a behind in days gone by.
Steady.
Harvey runs the wing.
Oh, and far too.
He's up, Robert. You heard the call.
That's because the Fraser Gehrig leader came.
Then he stopped again and went for another run.
Right, and he couldn't kick it over there to the next presenting leader, which was Aaron Hamill. So that's just
18 paces.
Of not being able to kick too long for Rob Harvey.
20 steps. Probably 34 years of age, but still quicker than he knows. From the ball in, Stiller tried to get a handball out to Brennan. Well played. Loop wide. Inside 50 from Sherman. Marked by Maguire. He read that beautifully. Comes wide to Goddard. Half-back flank. He's got Milne short. Xavier Clark short as well. Hits Xavier Clark. And now Milne's the target. And if he gets it, he can go here. He gets it. No, held up. Now he goes. Riewoldt leads. He might try and go all the way. Pokes it towards Gehrig. Strength. Couldn't bring the mark in. Tucked into the pocket. Tries to keep it alive to Riewoldt. Got a toe on it. And it's right through for behind. It was a brilliant tackle.
That's why Mel Michael's a fantastic defender. We know he can stand shoulder to shoulder and punch and all those things, but just these sorts of things are desperate. He's gone to Riewoldt. Now, the problem is that the young man that started out on Nick Riewoldt, Wade Mills, has gone to Fraser Gehrig. So you'd imagine Gehrig will go to the goal square and take him with him.
We do know he can go shoulder to shoulder.
In that case, that would suit Brisbane. It's going to be marked by Montagna, because what it does is makes the St Kilda forward line shuffle and get out of kilter. They'll keep swapping their backmen, Brisbane.
Oh, well played. Power deflecting it down to his own advantage. Lepage, Black in trouble, hurriedly onto the boot. Sherman runs inside the centre square, support alongside. They work it nicely. Stiller came to Johnson, back to Stiller. First gamer kicks inside the forward 50, and Sherman. So the young man can look back on the first passage of play he was involved in. And it could lead to a goal right here, depending on the accuracy of this kick, as Michael Voss sits down.
Good player, this young fella. He's played some good footy. Sherman, he cut off Bradshaw before. If he's going to play inside forward 50, he's got to be aware of space and where he can and can't take his defender, but he'll learn that as his career unfolds.
Only 7-20 on the scoreboard, but they've gone inside 57 times to St Kilda's last 2. That's a shank.
And they've missed a few, haven't they? By quite a distance. Justin Sherman tugging it way left.
24 possessions and kicked 2 goals last week, so he is in form. Goddard from one back pocket to the other. Red Voss, and now he goes towards Xavier Clark, who can gather with Ron Hooper on him, and Hooper holds him up. Well played. Chip around the body, not so good. Montagna, can he keep it alive? Yes. Just inside the boundary line. Brown comes at him, gives it to Graham. Hooper continues on, laid half a tackle. Montagna wobbles it inside 50. Riewoldt And Nick Riewoldt takes the mark and can line up and extend this St Kilda lead.
Now, Dino, this kick could be indicative of which way the match will go. You know that Nick Riewoldt is going to get plenty of the footy. He's such a good athlete. But if he starts missing them, it's going to go pretty bad for St Kilda.
Hit 3 last week with a perfect action, and that perfect action has arrived again tonight.
Well, that's a super result for the game. So you'd hate to be kicking it to a key forward who had the yips completely and utterly when you're up against a team which has got a half sniff. Does very well on Mel Michael here. Reads it very early, and Mel doesn't have the pace off the mark to go with him.
The great kick. It was one of those kicks that make it so very difficult for a defender.
It's the first kick he's run at that's given him a chance.
All right, here we go.
Riewoldt looking very dangerous. 2 goals already. Booted 6 in round 22 last season. Took 14 marks that night after breaking his collarbone in round 1. There's Power. Lost the football. Blake, interesting. Black taken down by Thompson. Jarred out of there. Schwarz against the flow. Power once more. Upended. Black ridden down by Montagna in the back, says the umpire. Well, I thought he did all humanly possible to try and avoid getting into his back, but the umpire in perfect position. Black swings it out wide. Lepage, 65 metres out, goes to the pocket, and the mark is taken by Brennan. Important kick, this one.
Well, even the very best of them, and Aaron Hamill, from a defensive mindset for a forward, is as good as any. If you just lose concentration for a split second, then you'll get hurt. And Lepage just ran off Hamill and set this kick up.
They've missed a few. Brennan comes in and kicks a goal.
Really important goal too. Bit of traffic being down the other end. When they do go forward, they've got a lot of space, Brisbane, so they're going to make the most of it. And you can't see Aaron Hamill in that shot, but you can in another, and he puts his hand in his head. He just knows that he lost himself for a split second. Lepage, experienced enough, smart enough to run off at the right time, and made them pay with a beautiful pass to Brennan.
Footy only.
Well, we know he can play, Jared Brennan, the player Brisbane got for the pick they received for sending Des Headland back to Fremantle.
No, but you put your hand on his shoulder, mate. I've got to play that, okay?
You heard the explanation there. Hand on shoulder. Blake sends it wide. Gehrig looks good. Got it.
And the young boy Mills, he's a good young kid. I guess you're going to find out about him, but he's got a big night. He's going to grab Riewoldt or he's going to grab Gehrig.
Bags of 2 and 3 in his first 2 games. Fraser Gehrig, 2 goals in round 1 against the West Coast and 3 against Richmond. Just the 2 marks last week and 8 possessions. Lines this up from 50. Looks superb off the boot. Never in doubt.
We know what Big Fraser's capable of, but let's say the free kick again. Well, it's going to be a free kick if your right hand never gets near the footy and the left one's over the shoulder. When we're watching Wade Mills, watch how long his paces are. And that would indicate that he's not that quick off the mark. Anyone who takes big, giant paces off the mark isn't all that fleet of foot or quick. But they reckon he's got a good tank and he can run all night.
Key forwards looking dangerous. 3 goals last week for Fraser Gehrig, 2 in round 1. His best effort against the Lions, 4 round 21 of 2004, so he hasn't really gone off against them. This is Thompson alongside the centre circles. Long bomb. Riewoldt easily.
Well, it was quite incredible what happened is they had 2 and 3 players in the goal square. Riewoldt just took 10 paces forward and Mel Michael let him go, and Copeland was the player that had to come out to him. Now, as soon as that happened, you're thinking clearance to St Kilda in the box seat.
Maybe what Lee's got to do is move Ackermanis to full back and make him back it up.
2 minutes now, Rob.
It's getting desperate times. Riewoldt for number 3. The young champ, we're right behind him. Straight through the middle.
And now this is the problem when you've got these rolling defenders that go from one player to another. I mean, they just lost him in that particular passage of play. Someone has to be given responsibility for Riewoldt and say, you stay with him until we sort this out.
Well, it shouldn't be Copeland.
No, I'm saying to him, he just rolled forward 10 metres, and all of a sudden Mel Michael said, oh, where's he gone? So Copeland just had to go out and pick him up. So this is just a concentration thing at the moment. So Michael's back on him now. You stay with him until we tell you otherwise.
So the man who was attacked in round 1 last year at the Gabba is paying the Brisbane Lions back where it hurts most. On the scoreboard, 3 goals. Black with the takeaway. Wobbles it towards Brennan. Knocked away from him. Nodding. Tried to trap it. Forced to trap. Got it. Drives him into the turf. As we saw Aaron Hamill do last week. And it'll be a ball up.
Yeah, I can say that Michael's gone back to Riewoldt, who lost him in traffic for a split second. That's why he had Copeland, but he's back on Riewoldt now.
Clark for the Lions, forced to do the right work down to Harding. He's caught. The ball's under him. Doesn't make an attempt. And that's holding the ball.
And he did. Great call. He did not actually make an attempt there. Mightn't have had much prior opportunity, but he'd never once motioned to try and get the thing free.
Dal Santo short. Schwarz has got it. Across the ground he goes. Baker. Graham is on for the next one. Should just pop it over the top. Graham can take it at them. He's got the ball defensive side of the wing. Has the bounce. Unfortunately, Maguire drew a man to him. He still found some space. Kicks inside the 50. Hamill goes back. Had a lot of courage. Johnson was bearing down the 2 number 2s. And the ball is out of bounds. He's paid the mark, has he? I think the vote was 2-1. We got the boundary throw in just inside the attacking 50 then. Counting down to 3/4 time. The wry smile. Watch it again. Decision. Almost. Clean possession. Ackland from his step towards full forward. Guess who?
Touched higher.
Oh. Belatedly, Michael over the top. Comes back to Riewoldt. On the ground applies a tackle. Darted out of there. Hayes to Gehrig. Interesting. Gehrig straight up in the air. Clever by Riewoldt to Blake. Blake snaps and kicks a goal. Lordy can do no wrong. Riewoldt, he was going to take the mark and kick the goal, but was touched off the boot. Then he got caught up in the passage of play and ended up palming it down beautifully into the hands of Blake, who kicks a really good goal for a big man. They are on fire. Let's have a look at this. This was the first mark that wasn't paid. That was touched off the boot. And then he got up, got involved in the passage of play. If we keep having a look at this, Hamill there, ferocious as always. Riewoldt lays a tackle. Fraser bangs it in the air. Then the tap down from Riewoldt is beautiful footy. They're on fire. Now, 139-point margin in round 22. They're up by 20 points at quarter time. St Kilda. They now lead the Lions by 30 points.
Bounce to restart play. Danger signs here for the Lions. They need a takeaway. Copeland nearly got it. Stolen by McWalter. Gave it to Hayes. To McWalter. Rolls it inside 50 yet again. Leppich coming hard. He might as well spend his beans tonight, Justin Leppich, because he might not be playing next week. Sherman around the boundary line. Brown comes hard. Takes the mark inside 2 minutes to quarter time. Dishes off to Harding. Chips the kick. Ackermanis. And he finally will get a touch. Chips it inside 50. Perfect kick. Chance for Stiller. First gamer. First goal.
How good's that for the young fellow? And they get around him as well. Bit of Ackermanis magic there. It's a good move. Lee Matthews has moved Ackermanis to full forward, basically. Graham's gone with him. When you got great timing and leg speed, well, you're a dangerous full forward, and that's what Acker is. And he's also just about the best kick in the competition on his non-preferred foot, and that's what set this goal up for the young boy Stiller, who's playing in his first game. What a great thrill for him, and badly needed just as we head towards quarter time. Some suggestion that maybe he's a bit sore after that, Jonathan Brown. Looked a bit innocuous. People at the dock will keep an eye on him.
24 points the margin, and on the balance of play, it could be far worse. Over the top, Charman. Brennan got the arms free. Feeds it out. Copeland worked out of it. McWalter Clever hand pass for Yora, the man who ran into Brown. Goes towards half forward. This will be interesting. Battle of strength. Bounce favoured Mills. He kicks to the wing. Fiora against 3. Knocked it down. Brennan out of trouble. Here's a chance for Boss inside the forward 50. Ackermanis props. Loose ball at the back. Hudgston's got it. Quick hands away. Maguire robbed of it. McGrath almost through. Still he goes. Brown open goal.
Well, it's a good effort because they were in all sorts at 14 to 44. They look to be in all sorts of trouble, but it takes a pretty good unit to be able to get late goals against the flow. And a little bit of magic from the 2 players in the Brisbane side. I know there's more than that. Yeah, Black can do it, Voss can do it, but Ackermanis and Brennan are the 2 blokes who are, I guess you'd describe as mercurial. And Ackermanis set the first one up. And a little bit of Brennan magic out here on the wing helped set that one, as well as McGrath. Some nice.
He's a good worker in there, isn't he? He's one of those forward pressure type players to hold the ball in.
Had close to his worst game ever against Geelong in round 1, Jonathan Brown, but bounced back last week, 17 marks and kicked 3-1 from the ball up. Harding flicks up a little hand with a Voss. Loads up with a long kick. Ackermanis can't get there in time, and taking the mark. Baker got back in defence inside a minute to quarter time and held it strong. Chips to Lenny Hayes.
Things have turned. Hayes to Milne. Midway between the lines, half back and wing. Over the top, Voss goes to half forward. Clock is down to 23 seconds. Blake, oblivious to that, has got this ball 55 metres out, but time enough. The dangerous pairing down forward. Gehrig off is short. Not sure that's the way to go. Well, as it turns out, it is. Hits him on the chest. Clock stops. Well, it doesn't. It runs on, and he will kick after the siren, Fraser Gehrig.
He's got to kick the goal, doesn't he, now? Oh, he does now.
So he can't go off the line. This is a very difficult kick for a left footer. Fraser Gehrig. What happens, boys? It occurred to me during the week if he goes longer than his 30 seconds.
We spoke to the umpires that nothing matters when the siren goes.
He can take as long as he likes.
Yeah,
there goes the kick. It wasn't a bad effort. That seems crazy.
Well, it's a crazy world.
It is a crazy world we live in. I'm with you. I know that. So that's the end of the first term, and St Kilda, after jumping away to a big lead, have been reined in by Brisbane. As you can see, still in front by, what is that, 19 points. But it could have been, as we said late in the term, far worse than it was on the board. St Kilda 7-3, Brisbane 4-2. This is Thursday Night Football.
About before the game, you know, the fundamentals had all just broken down, and in the St Kilda camp, well, obviously they'd be pretty happy, but could have been a lot more ahead.
Johnny Tone, thanks for that. Let's head to Dr. Peter Larkins quickly before the bounce of the ball for the second quarter.
Yes, Gary, Brendan Goddard's nosebleed has stopped. Fraser Gehrig just having a little bit of tension on his foot at quarter time. He's got some blisters underneath the big toe ball of the foot. They put some padding on. It looks like he's wearing some new boots, so maybe he won't run too far, Gary.
Mills has gone back to play on Riewoldt out of the goal square.
Second term, Thursday Night Football. Plenty of experience in the middle there for Brisbane. All to no avail, at least then. Hayes, Dal Santo inside the forward 50. Copeland over the top, punching away. Head down. Nottingham passes straight up in the air. Hayes, Goddard. Now an opportunity for Copeland. Too slick. Hayes has got it again. Tackle from behind. Got the arms free. Montagna, clever, to space. Dal Santo thought about it, then centers.
Just a great kick.
Oh, like a talking. Harvey has run down from behind, and the young man Stiller did brilliantly. Anything but. He arrived very quickly. Harvey wasn't told, and as a result, was done cold.
Where's the holding the ball?
Well,
the umpire thought it was enough of a penalty just getting dispossessed, did he?
Got to earn your stripes. It was a youngster on a veteran. Hayes. Close to the boundary. Dal Santo can cut back on his left side here now. Created his own space. Pulls it back across the face of goal. Riewoldt in the role of a spoiler. Knocks it away from Mills and concedes a behind.
Doesn't matter how experienced you are, and Robert Harvey just about the most experienced in the comp, if not the most. It almost needs to be a blanket rule. If you're 15 metres out, stop, go back, kick the goal.
Like crossing the road.
I tell you what, it was Harding, wasn't it? Who ran up on, or was it Stiller? He actually took a couple of little silent paces when he got about a couple of meters. You check him out. He takes those tiny little steps. He sneaked up on him.
Mill's not having a good night so far.
Silences on his boots.
Absolutely.
Hayes chips back to Gehrig. Gets the call to play on.
Oh, dear.
A little slip. Runs to 60, spears the pass, ball knocked down. Oh, Montagna was ridden. It's like a rodeo. It took Chris Johnson for 2 revolutions.
Chris, thank you.
And we'll get a ball up.
I think I've heard it all.
Thanks, mate.
Mate, that is magnificent. Have a look. If he shortens his paces, he just sneaks up on it.
The basket.
The alternative is to take a route with longer grass. Behind the pack, a chance for power. Dal Santo gets through, sends it down towards the pocket. Riewoldt getting across, takes the mark, wants to go and does. Fires it back, and Fisher has marked about 35 metres out, 45-degree angle.
He's just getting a bit of a pasting, young Mills. I don't like to say it. It's only his second game, but wherever he goes to, that player starts to win the footy, and that is something that would be of concern, no doubt, to Lee Matthews. Lenny Hayes, the star, 5 touches in 2 minutes in the second quarter.
And Fisher is going for his 3rd career goal right here. So a sense of occasion. We're right behind him.
A good hit.
He's bending it back beautifully, straight through the middle. Nicely done.
Well, they'd like Mel Michael in the goal square, but they're not willing to let Mills play on Gehrig. And
he's
Mills,
the least dangerous, isn't he?
well,
of the 2. So
the thing is,
the best one on Riewoldt.
Horses for courses, he takes giant steps off the mark, this kid Mills, so it looks like he's not nimble or agile enough to come out of the goal square on a leading player.
Now, I set this up, Dermot.
And watch this.
This man has a silencer on.
He actually stops.
Down,
he stops. Watch that. He stops.
I love the fact you're giving him credit. But,
man, I reckon that's well done, son.
Unbelievable.
What, you reckon he should have sounded the trumpets and let him know he was on the way?
I've heard it all, man.
Elevated off the rookie list this week, Stiller. There's another one of those solid tackles, Jarman.
He's not capable.
Chris Johnson nodding. Threads a handball through to Voss. If it bounces, he's away. And he is away. He chips it wide. Power can run it to the 50. Held up a little by Baker. Chips it over the top, and McGrath marks 45 metres from goal.
Luke Power's the midfielder that is getting most of the footy, and he's he was head-to-head with Robert Harvey. Harvey's now gone forward and had a rest, and actually they've rested Harvey, Hayes and Dal Santo in the forward line rather than rotate them off at stages tonight for the Saints.
Ashley McGrath, youngest of the 3 McGrath brothers who've been on AFL lists, lines up from 50 and sends it way wide. Ugly from the time it left the boot. St Kilda's ball.
Thanks, Maxie. Through.
Hayes. He knew it the moment it left his boot. Montagna up from the back pocket.
Got a couple of Luke if you want.
Saints appear to be in control, but they need to be careful. 52 plays 26. Montagna drives it around the outer side. 2-on-1 out there, reaching up the top. Lepic knocked in the opposite direction by Voss, falling to the ground. Brennan, Black, Lepic, Riscatelli, umpire in trouble. Coming from behind the umpire was Harvey, collected him. In trouble, out of trouble still. Nicely worked. Another youngster, Riscatelli, inside the forward 50, and Brown goes back. He won the battle of strength and took the mark.
Just beautiful judgment. Picked up the flight of the ball, and that's why Max Hudson runs underneath it here. Let's have a look at this ball in flight when it comes back. See, Brown picks it up now, and Hudgson's still going forward to it.
Stiller making an impression. Here's Brown. He'll kick from just inside the 50. 6 goals against the Saints in the second qualifying final of 2004. Trying to work it back right to left. It hangs out to the right.
I've been watching Lenny Hayes. He's up to 14 possessions. No one's gone to him in the last 5 minutes.
Grant to Hudson. Run down again. There's that silent tackle. They've been working on that.
Hey.
Yeah.
Voss Sends it high. Lepich will come from 4 deep. Goes to the fist. Would have been a free. Play on. Hamill didn't give a free away. Ducks into that tackle by Riscatelli. Umpire saw it well. Black's kick smothered. Lepich caught high by Montagna. And Justin Lepich, who you would think would face the tribunal this week, gets the free kick. Chips it. Danger. Riscatelli. Dal Santo. Knocked it down. Shepherd behind play. Loads it up to Riewoldt. Marks 45 out.
He did so well then, Nick Dal Santo. That's an absolute thinking man's play there. Ran side on and waited for Riewoldt. Now, this will give you a great pictorial of it. Now, watch this. He says, come on, come to me. Make space. And that's when Riewoldt makes the vision.
Got 3, Nick Riewoldt. Was almost a Brisbane player. He lived on the Gold Coast, just outside their local recruiting zone.
He's on fire.
And he sends it through for number 4. Yes!
They're going to make a call. That's what they're going to do. Is put the best fullback, or one of the best fullbacks in the past, however long, on the Nick Riewoldt. And just run the risk that Fraser Gehrig might get a hold of the other kid.
The thing that's would be worrying Lee is you've got a positive, you've got a winner in Mal Michael. You'd think he might be able to hold Gehrig. Riewoldt will run him into the ground.
Straight at it again, guys. Footy only again.
Yeah, he might have had the yips at some stage, Nick Riewoldt, but he seems to have ironed them out. That's copybook right there.
Yep.
Balanced, head over it, nice control.
58 plays 27. Play restarts. Ackland knocks it down. Hayes emerges with it, feeds it back. Nicely worked. Montagna spotted 2 men in the clear on the opposite side of the ground. One of them's got it now. Ackland to the other, Fisher. Fisher back to goal. Comes to Fiora. Forward of the wing. Kicks for space. Coming up the ground is Milne. Oh, great defence there. Reaching over the top. It was thumped away by Copeland. It'll be coming back though. Montagna. Baker backs off a would-be tackler. Short to Hayes. Play on. Not 15. You heard the umpire. Belated call. And Fisher, who's taken up station on this side of the ground, and nobody's noticed, decides to play on. Hooper trying to get there to put some pressure on. Schwarz made himself invisible. Forward of the wing. Interesting kick at right angles. And the mark was taken alongside the square leg umpire by Notting. Notting across half back. Bradshaw coming up for only his 2nd possession of the game. 9-4-4-3.
Still playing in the forward line, Bradshaw, but gee, he might even be called upon to play key back now.
Brennan looking for Brown. Hudson reaches over the top. Thompson casually, really. A touch of arrogance. Harvey to Hayes.
50. Now, Lenny Hayes has had 8 touches already in this 2nd quarter. He's coming up for his 9th possession. It was Luke Power who was playing off him, so they both were racking up big numbers, but Power's now come off to the bench. I'll be interested to see if Sherman runs with Hayes. Someone's got to go to him.
They've got to hold this open for Riewoldt. They've got to put a block on for him, and it'll go to him.
Heads it wide towards Riewoldt. He's got the move. Good punch away by Mills this time. Copeland, Mills. Back to Mal Michael. Riewoldt comes at him for a sec. And now Lepich, who was a Saints supporter as a kid, wears the 23 because Stuart Lowe was his hero. Went wide, fixed her. Marks on defensive 50. Spent a bit of time on the bench so far tonight. Wide to Chris Johnson. Gets some booze as well. Steps around Harvey with a bit of style. Has a bounce. Goes long. Ackermanis in a one-on-one and marks it against Graham, his old teammate.
A clever mark.
Be disappointed with that, Rob Harvey. He's been selling candy like that for 15 years, and that overcommitment there of Harvey allowed Johnson to get the kick to Ackermanis.
Desperately need him to kick this one. It's across the face. Crowd pretty happy about it. Ball stays alive. Hudson keeps it alive. Sells the dummy 2 times. Goes to Schwarz, and he takes the mark half-back flank for the Saints.
58-27. Approaching halfway in the 2nd term. Great vision to the middle. Montagna can slice them now. A couple of bounces. Bixter can't keep up. He runs inside the 50. Lee Montagna lines up and kicks it to the left. Wow. He should have done better. Good hard running, but the finish not the equal of the earlier good work. This is Voss out of defence as Brisbane move it quickly to the wing. Notting is outnumbered, pays the price on the ground. Xavier Clark back inside the forward 50. Going back with courage there was Voss to Michael. And Michael breaks away in two minds. Interesting kick. McWalter stretches, got a hand to it. Johnson lost the football. Is he going to get it free? No. Could have been held without it. Arriving quickly as Hayes knocks it across to Clark. Clark prepared to concede. Comes back to Hudson. Hudson too nimble there for Sherman. Hayes needs to be quick. They have been practicing that. It's about all they've been practicing and what we've seen so far. Scramble develops and we've got a ball off Tony Jones.
Yes, Dennis, Robert Harvey's come off and just headed down the race with the doctor there. Our own doctor. Larkins might have something more on that.
Yeah.
Go.
Bounce to Shocker on the wing. Clark thought it was a good bounce. Hayes again. Another possession for him. A perfect possession to McWalter.
They're dominating the game, Dwayne. 32 more touches, 23 more marks and 4 more inside 50s to St Kilda. They are absolutely dominant.
McWalter brought into the team this week. First game of the year to Montagna. Got his first game last week. And he chips to Riewoldt in the pocket.
Yeah, I know the debate on Zach Dawson went on and on and on last year. I'm not sure they had the or close to the All-Australian fullback to swing on to Rocker last week. Mel Michael is out there. He is the fullback. At the moment he's playing centre-half forward on Fraser Gehrig.
Now, watch the enormous paces this kid takes off the mark. It just shows he just doesn't have that nimbleness required. Look, probably the kid's a good kid. He just doesn't have the body technique, structure to go with it.
Lee Montagna from 45. Can he bring it back? Not enough. Across the face, only a behind.
I've always thought that Lee Matthews hasn't, on occasions, exhibited a lot of confidence in Justin Lepage. It seemed to me he could play a bigger part in this too, but he's not. Copeland pops it across. One half of the Dudley boys gets it from round 1 last season. I think that's Devon. Bubba Ray is injured tonight. Ball goes up towards the wing. This is Voss. He kicks towards the 50. Brown in front takes the mark. Maguire very quick to give it back to it. Brown to Voss. 65 metres out. Ackerman has just 2 possessions so far, and Graham enjoyed all of that. Boundary throw in.
Yeah, there's no doubt seeing Lepage last week. There's the Riewoldt Mills head-to-head. But the big one is the marks. 6, all in inside 50.
And that.
And that one. Well, that's why that's there.
Dal Santo through traffic beautifully. Gets past Fixter, with half got a boot. Chip kick wide. Ball knocked by Harding. Got it to Lepage. Tries to loop the handle back to Voss. Clark cut off. Knocked to Thompson. Gives to Fisher. They've got all the answers at the moment, St Kilda. Straight up in the air, and Blake, he was there. He takes the mark after being crunched by Clark.
Push him in the back. Push him straight in the back, mate.
There's a free regardless against Mitchell Clark. Brisbane's #1 kick back in 2005. Kick to half forward. Off hands Hamill. Slips. There's been a few do that tonight. But Hayes. Throw it out. Free kick lines. Johnson couldn't run onto advantage. And it'll be brought back. Brisbane Lions free kick.
I tend to agree with you on Lepage, Denner, but tonight he's been given Hamill, and he did a pretty good job. Hamill actually came from the ground and he went on to Schwartz. Now that might have been the moment he could have gone on to someone a bit more dangerous. Hamill back out there now.
Lepage goes very wide. Brennan offers step. Clever kick. I'm sure the defence didn't expect him to kick it that quickly, and Bradshaw's got it. He'll kick from right on the 50.
I think it's I would look at it and say the shuffle should be Lepage into the forward line, Bradshaw to the back line, and reshuffle Mills out onto Hamill. He'll be happy running around at half back.
There's the kick from right on the 50. And he misses.
I just don't reckon Hamill hurts you offensively. He's just going to do his work regardless of who plays on him.
And he'll work up the ground, which will make Mills feel a lot more comfortable.
Well, make him hurt you first. Kick a couple of goals. I mean, he's going to be what he is, isn't he? Regardless.
Yeah, he wouldn't have the goal column sitting over his head, young Mills.
No. You just need a tradesman there to try and match his endeavour, which is pretty hard to do. There's Blake shy of the wing. 60 plays 28. Saints in control. Blake with patience goes back to Dal Santo.
Here's it to Lenny Hayes.
Gee whiz.
Free in the middle. Strange, given that he's almost owned the ball. Goes towards Garrick, who flies. Can't bring the mark down. Ball knocked towards Lepage. Half a throw. Hamill tries to use his strength. Still caught. Still over it. And will get a ball up. Maybe Riewoldt's paying back a family debt. Gentlemen.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it was Wade Mills, who captain of the Brisbane under-18 team, carved up a young bloke by the name of Jack Riewoldt last year in the under-18 carnival to get himself drafted. Nick Riewoldt's cousin. Ball up in the middle. It's tied up.
Yeah.
So blood's thicker than water, boys.
It's a font of information.
That's good.
20 touches to Lenny Hayes.
No, it is good.
20. I've been watching these midfielders. They get a good run.
By the way, Jack Riewoldt will be drafted at the end of this year. Kick off the deck. Hooper forced to fly behind Fisher. Maguire. Caught. The double team. They like to do that. Little back paddle. Good by Notting to Brown. That was too casual. Tried to get it to Voss. Goddard back to Fisher. Not a lot of places to go. Straight down the middle will do. To Goddard, who's got Blake. If he can hit him, can't get there. And it's all lines now. He's fallen over. Sherman, a half Shepard from Clark because Blake only gave a half chase. Voss
could have killed him.
Got it long enough according to the umpire. It's his ball.
Well, the champ's got it on the wing. Comes to Sherman. Just over 6 minutes till half-time. Fixter has to hold up inside the centre square.
Oh, look at the long lead from Brownie. Oh, he had to raise the vision because Brown would have run into space.
Johnson, so good last week. Plays on. Controlled kick. Ackermanis is up in front. Takes a very good mark. That was a very good kick.
Got to go back and kick the goal, Acker. He's a beautiful kick, as is Chris Johnson. One. And that's a mark. That's a mark.
Ackermanis from 52 metres out. Gave it a bit and kicks it behind. Well, that was an interesting kicking style, wasn't it?
His head got forward of the strike with the ball.
That was like that pose of, was it Hayden Bunton Sr. in midair with the ball tucked? Yeah, remember that one? We need to see that again.
Of course. Oh, he takes on Voss. How about that? There's the bounce. The boy who kicked the winning goal here a couple of years ago against the Lions. Sends it inside 50. Big fly. Hamill couldn't mark it. Lepage.
Yeah, that is going to be an image that'll be replayed in Michael Voss's career, that one.
Now Michael chips. Copeland. 5 minutes from half-time. 60 plays 29. Here's Michael Voss, and he's spent.
The mind was willing, but the legs just couldn't take him.
Chips it to Brown. Takes the mark against his vulnerable friend, Maguire.
I thought Voss was going to try and return the favour and sidestep him off the mark.
That's why he's a smart player, dude.
Brown to McGrath. McGrath miscues with a kick. It pitches in front of Bradshaw. Coming up on the lead. Waiting for him was Clark. And Clark will get the free kick. That was the drive-by.
Be careful.
Clark just pops it over the top to Fisher. And Fisher decides to run. Goes down towards half-forward. Hamill will need to go, but it's a real free kick. Untidy by young Mitchell Clark.
He hasn't had a great night, Mitch Clark.
He goes back now and to make amends does well. Takes the mark in front of Blake.
That's what will happen with young players just starting out, but he's just made a couple of blues that you'd rather he didn't.
Yes. Lepage has got it.
Starting to get a bit of hands on the footy now, Justin.
Goes very short to Fixter.
Hey, Simon, hold it there, mate, hold it there.
10 possessions for Lepage.
No conviction in their footy at the moment.
No, they've lost their run.
Yeah. It's damage control, isn't it? Well, that says it all. Johnson got a half volley across half back. Back to Fixter. He's tackled. Well, 3-on-2 will prevail. Lepage, another possession out towards the wing this time. Brown slipped over and the ball trickles towards the interchange gates and goes out. Let's go down to the dock.
Yeah, a few problems on the bench for St Kilda. Fraser Gehrig was up the race and is now back, but he's got left hamstring problems having it worked on. Robert Harvey having ice packs applied to his left thigh. Looks like he's gone for the night.
You sense that half-time will be handy for the Brisbane Lions. They've got another 3 minutes to play before half-time comes. Lenny Hayes on the bench as well. Robert Harvey as the doc said, getting some ice put on.
Lenny Hayes on the bench. That's about as close as a Brisbane Lion opponent has got to him all night.
Clark doing the ruck work. Harding. Through a bit of traffic. Montagna. Well, he ran into Brown, and he wasn't going any further than that.
And Dwayne, it was Luke Power who wouldn't go near him. It was Michael Voss that wouldn't go near him at times. So they're not your young kids. Or maybe they just rolled the dice, and because Brisbane aren't getting any of their footy, they're getting hurt.
Power to Brown. He's got Still on one side. He goes inboard to Voss.
That's the play of the night so far. He has to run a little less bend away from his initial tackler or chaser, and then half off balance, he sees space in front of Voss and just puts it there on the non-dominant side.
Oh, 50. Well, he hasn't got the strength in his leg anymore either. And Bradshaw marks in the pocket. It was 10 years ago that he won the Brownlow, by the way, Michael Voss. So
You'd never ever write Michael Voss off, but there's two things tonight. His legs look to be gone. I know it was
Bradshaw to Stiller.
Very obvious out on the wing, but it's just some un-Voss-like moments.
That is, I'm still marvelling at the Brown play. I mean, he's 1 foot in front of his opponent, off the mark with pace at 100 kilos. And
already got one. And he hasn't got two. Not through on the line. Let's go down to Doc Peter Larkins.
Yeah, just confirming, Dwayne, left hamstring for Robert Harvey. He had a lot of trouble last year with hamstring. He's gone for the night. Fraser Gehry, they're desperately trying to see if they can loosen up his left hamstring.
Dal Santo to the wing.
Yeah, then 30 points up. I reckon they were 30 points up at the same stage of the first quarter and then conceded 2 late goals. And they wouldn't want to do it again.
Play onto the call. Goddard with no pressure. Fixter stays off him. Goddard goes to half forward with a high ball from behind Clark. Almost. Milne gets the crumb. He's away. Goes down towards full forward. Bypasses full forward. Kicks a goal.
Even better do them. Don't concede one, but go and kick one yourself.
12-point turnaround on the first quarter. I mean, wonderful play here. Now, who from Brisbane is at the back of the pack? Timmy Notting. He's given up the ghost there. Any one of 3 of them could have kicked that. That is a damaging view of the state of this game if you're a Brisbane Lions player, supporter, coach.
Game number 100 for Stephen Milne. His first goal of this season. He kicked 11 the last time the two teams met back in round 22 last year. 11 straight. And he's pretty happy to get on the board for 2006. 36 points the margin. Biggest lead of the game. Seconds from half-time. On the board up. Free kick. It'll go to the Lions. A little too high. You heard Fixter's ball. Sends it wide to Leppich, who's run off from half-back. Tries to spear the pass toward Ackermanis. Bouncing ball. Grant's with him. They rode him in the back. The umpire's gone down. And it's Ackermanis' ball. He loads up on one of those big long Hayden Bunton kicks. Goes to the goal square. Not bad off the boot. Brown's down there. Dumped through. And it's only a behind. The crowd got what they wanted. Umpire went down and Ackermanis missed.
It was there, but barely, wasn't it?
Just he half-turned him, didn't he?
Just a touch. I think he played high. We're down to 32 seconds. Voss plays on. Goes to Milne. Well, as we saw in the opening term, they've got time. Similar situation. Just pops it over the top. Blake has it. Down to 18 seconds now, so the finish all important. Where's Riewoldt? Well, maybe the shutters have gone up. Down to 10 seconds. Hayes, and I think this will just about do it. Fisher gets up. 4 seconds on the clock. It will be half-time, and the margin will be 35 points. Goddard finishes up with a football. I dare say a first half he won't forget. Rob Harvey trussed up, and that's not a good sign, but St Kilda certainly would like the look of that scorecard. Not him. 10-6-66, 4-7-31. Well, on balance of play, you get the feeling St Kilda almost with a touch of arrogance now. They're right in control of this game. Will they push on? It remains to be seen. We'll be back with the second half and all the halftime activities very shortly. This is Thursday Night Football.
Somewhere.
Yes, the margin 35 points. It was 19 at quarter time. Saints on top. Thursday Night Football. Can they find a spark? Needs to start in the centre square. Rucks go at it. Charman up very high. Cop one on the way down, but St Kilda's getting a free.
No, too early.
Boss can't believe it. Well, both ruckmen seem to be up early. Premature elevation, but Hayes has got it. Drives it long inside the forward 50. Fraser backing back, appear to be held. No free kick. Opportunity, head down for Riscatelli. Slaps it out of there. Boss threw it away. Montagna snaps a goal. Well, the start they didn't need. The start from hell.
This has got the makings of something ugly.
139-point ugly or just ugly?
Well, that's just, just downright ugly. This could get ugly, but you just never know with a team which contains Michael Voss is incapacitated, as you said. They need one of their champions to actually stand up and put a stamp somewhere on this game.
Took just the 28 seconds to get that goal from the ball up.
Now what is wrong with this is he doesn't get a hit on the ball. If he jumps early and puts his knee into him and gets a hit on the ball, he'll get away with it.
Ball up again. Charman comes over, wins this one against Blake. Harding, half court. Little chip kick inside 50 by Sherman, and he's got the power.
Oh, the nearest umpire.
That 15?
Put the hands behind his back. It's an umpire, Vozzo, I think.
Pretty good calls from the 50.
What's that indicate?
Wow, I reckon. Is it watch him? And he puts the hands behind the back. You just saw him motion in to do that. Whether that's a signal to the umpire, your call or not, I don't know the umpire's sign language.
Maybe 28 seconds for the response.
Oh.
Good hard running from the middle. Just read the play, saw that they got the advantage at the clearance and just took off, ran forward. In fact, what Luke Power did was watch the bounce of the umpire, saw that it was favouring the Brisbane Lions in, assumed that Charman was going to have a good run up and whack it, so he took off. And that's why he ended up getting that footy inside forward 50.
So we're trading goals immediately after half-time. I can tell you, Lenny Hayes, 21 possessions to half-time. His career high 37 against Carlton, 2004. Best against Brisbane, 35, 2003. Over the football, Clark. Power stood up in the tackle. McGrath taking a couple of revolutions. Hayes was the man who got him down. No stat there, but some hard work, and the umpire wants it again.
Lee Matthews maintained the faith in Wade Mills. He's left him at fullback to play on Nick Riewoldt. Leppich has kept Hamill pretty well under control.
Carman and Blake over the top. Goddard. Nostrils flared, or at least one of them. Socket off the ground by Dal Santo out towards the boundary. Twisting, turning, doesn't get away. Taken across the line. It was across the line before the tackle, I think, was really implemented. Good call by the official. Umpires have been good tonight. That was Marty Ellis.
McGrath by himself to the right of the hands. Not going to get there.
Carman reaches over the top of Blake, knocks it down. Harding put the body in. Clever hands, well controlled by Black, but lacking support, as you can see. He was mugged by about 3 of them. Tomo somehow got to his feet, almost stripped of the football, but got it across to Clark and turned to Dal Santo inside the 50, and Michael comes up and takes the defensive mark and plays on, and Fraser was not impressed.
Leppich almost played on then. It's on a play on a 50, and it's 50.
Let's go,
So Mills makes him earn the 50.
Get the ball, let's go, go, go,
Mills, I should say, makes him earn the 50.
No way, mate. I'm going to call play and he never went. He held his
Well, he
ground.
cocks the handball, but he doesn't run off the line.
I think when the umpire looks at it, he'll say he might have went.
He went beyond, though, didn't he?
I think he went.
It's just a netball step. It wasn't.
I think he went.
There was a slowing. Yeah, well, he doesn't run off the line.
Heads in the Brown direction, and a
good hand.
strong grab. Jonathan Brown to line up and make it 2 in a row, perhaps, for the Lions.
Great hands, wasn't it? Jonathan Brown here. He hasn't. He's looked dangerous enough, but he hasn't cut loose. Jonathan Brown, and Maguire's done a good job. They haven't had the midfield domination.
What's the elbow?
Yeah, he went. He was off. For me, I reckon, anyway.
I'm with you.
It's 50-50. What's the elbow that Brown gets on the back of the head from the
Dwayne before we throw up the percentages?
No, my belief is 50-50 whether he's off or not. So, let's call it as you say. Cops a good elbow to the left ear on the spoil here, Jonathan Brown. He just took an extra half a second than normal to get up.
He's got one. This, they keep them in with a chance, but he misses across the face, and that's a disappointing kick from Jonathan Brown. 72 plays 38.
I think the thing is, we should remember, though, that regardless of whether he went or not, it's not until the umpire calls it. So, technically, he's right.
Brisbane's kicking has been lamentable tonight. Like cologne salesmen working on commission. They've sprayed them everywhere. A couple of good kicks in the second term, but generally few and far between. Brennan's goal was memorable. Now an opportunity for Clark. Across to Maxey. And Hudson drives it towards half forward. Over the top. Johnson. Tailor-made. Montagna slipped. Whoa! Obviously, they've learned quickly, St. Kilda. Yes.
Levitt has done a hammy or an ankle. Can't move.
Drawers has got the football. Let's go is the call. So the secret silent tackle is working for both teams. What a magnificent kick onto the chest of Milne. You could hear that one hit.
Now, if we get a shot of Justin Leppich, he's just behind the mark. This is the... Yeah, doesn't really get a hit on that. Justin Leppich can barely walk. Forget running around after Hamill at the moment. Somebody stood, it was off play, so somebody stood on his ankle, or he's still hobbling around. Let's hope it's not his back.
Meantime, Milne has got one. Going at his second from 40, jabs it low and hard and misses to the right-hand side. Tried to take any swing out of that. As a result, it stayed on its line, but the line was wrong from the get-go.
Moving better now, Justin Leppich.
Just running in the gumboots.
Heads toward Charman. Xavier Clark tucked into the boundary line, kept it alive. The 1-2 with Hamill. Tries to get away from Charman. He ran it out of play, according to the umpire. Goddard won't have a shot. It'll come back.
Well, they've got to get Leppich off. He tried to sprint out to the other side.
Goddard's just being told it's a little bit of niggle behind play, which is always nice for the contest. Well.
This one here.
Okay, all right, yeah, fair enough. Tuck that under the left arm.
Yep.
Ball back into play. Oh, they might get it anyway. Milne runs to 20. How do you like him?
Bit of hot load bump load going on at the moment. They all went up to Sharman and gave it to him because he'd been flexing his muscles, and I'm not sure whether it was Milne just... Was it Milne reading? Yeah, Milne just read the Sharman hit out, sharped it absolutely beautifully, and then went up and kicked the goal. And there's a bit happening behind the play. They're all getting amongst it. Copeland's trying to get into Milne.
They stopped fairly quickly when Mel ran out there.
Big monster.
The gap widens. 12-7, 5-8. Jarman doing okay in there, but on the ground it's all St. Kilda, and again Montagna emerges with a football, penetrating kick. Riewoldt works in front, lunged at it, missed it. Loose ball at the back. Milne lining up for his third, dribbles it through. Woo!
Well, Robbie Copeland can hoppo bumpo all you want while the footy's going back in the middle. Next time the ball comes down the 50-50 contest, that's when you got to stand up.
Quite right.
And figuratively as well, because he just gets pushed under the footy too easily. This is where you make your reputation, not while the footy's being relayed back to the centre by the boundary umpire. It's in the heat of the battle.
Milne's back.
I'm just saying, Glenn, this is where Copeland here, who was all chest and fury while the ball was being relayed back to the middle of the ground for that ball up, you put it on the line when you're actually in the field of battle.
It was almost like Copeland tried to run to the side he's more comfortable to compete on, and it lost him 1 or 2 metres on the chase.
And what about the lip syncing on the celebration, right? You like that? Shades of Milli Vanilli.
Straight at it, guys, straight at it.
I speak celebration fluently.
Santo having a rest. Ball back in the middle. All the Saints at the moment. All Lenny Hayes in the first half. Stiller. Good first game he's had, the Brisbane line. Gets it to half forward. Brown. Caught. Maybe a little high. Seems to be an arm and a shoulder there.
Held there. Held in. Thanks, guys.
Doc Peter Larkins on the boundary.
Yeah, right ankle for Justin Leppich, Dwayno. It doesn't look too bad. They're re-strapping it. He had some strapping on. Happened off the ball, so he must have rolled or twisted on it.
Something with Dal Santo will come back to you. Harding has pushed off the ball. Baker caught. In a maul of lines, they're still attacking it. And now the Saints wrap it up. We'll get a ball up. Inside attacking 50.
Thanks, guys.
Compelling stat, that one. 25 of it's past 29 here at the Dome. 26 out of 30.
Charman up very early again. Went after the football. Black couldn't get that left arm free. Ackermanis comes over the top. Voss at the base of it. Oh, gee
Just hold it
whiz.
there. Never tried to get rid of it. Holding the ball.
Well, I would like to see that again.
And the ball wasn't pinged, okay? You've got to try and handball it out, straight out.
Well,
Mark's there.
that's the explanation.
Acker's on with the business.
Yes, kicks a goal.
He might think they have a chance, Dan. Doesn't want to waste time. Now, really, right about now, Lee Matthews has to make a decision. He's got to actually get Jason Ackermanis into some form, into the middle of the ground. I don't think he's playing sore in any way, shape or form. Let's have a look at this one. Voss.
Got the footy there, Voss.
There's one a little bit high.
It was high. That's the only thing, Dim. Dim, is it?
He's not trying to get it out, though.
No, but you've still got an obligation to tackle properly, and that would be the only query I'd have on that.
Yep.
Or do you put him in the midfield, Dermot, given that Ackermanis said after round 1, the loss to Geelong, that the rotations weren't high enough from Lee Matthews. They weren't rotating enough.
Well, this is not a good team we're looking at here at the moment, Brisbane.
No.
Well, Lee Matthews isn't putting him in the middle. From the ball up, Harding traps it. Second attempt, handball not good. Behind McGrath. Thompson loops it beautifully to Fisher. Away to the open side to Goddard on the run.
Nice kick.
Perfect kick. Long load up. Riewoldt's got a couple to beat. He knocks it down. Milne's waiting. It's through. For a behind.
If you look at that again, Copeland went for the back of the pack and allowed Milne to run 10 metres to the front of the pack all by himself. That's just rolling the dice stupidly.
Brennan away to Mills. He puts it out of bounds on the full. An unforced error. Blake with the free. Off a step, very untidy. Brennan missed the mark, out of bounds. None of that for the time capsule.
That boy would be the most frustrating one for the Brisbane Lions. They're on the slide as a team, and Brennan has all the talent in the world and decides to play when he feels like it.
Which isn't often.
No.
Hayes in the pack, in trouble. Johnson tried to get through somehow. Wrenched off him by McWalter. Back to Johnson, who didn't really want it. And the umpire decides to bounce it.
On that one, Dwayno, when I said Ackermanis into the middle, make the decision. Either get your guns in there or actually change the guard completely.
How long does he teach Ackermanis a lesson for?
Well, I reckon it's that close now to changing the guard in the middle for Brisbane. Well, you know Black's going to be around for quite some time.
Montagna, Hamill, behind Clark, out of bounds.
So the rest of the young kids, you've got to almost change the guard completely in there.
He has taken, to be fair, Ackermanis has taken 3 or 4 marks inside 4 and 50, so he's looked as dangerous as anyone up there.
Now Charman's down behind play here. Ackland's the man that's over him.
Scratchy, you've got the free.
But there's a free kick.
Move away.
It's that blow fly again.
Oh.
Jono, thanks. Away from
Now, would he have tried to get him in the head then?
Yours.
He was.
I reckon that's an accident, the contact with the head, but he's trying to make contact just to be, you know, show a strength, but it wasn't deliberately aimed at the head.
No, holding and
He
blocking,
handed off
guys,
to
no
McGrath,
blocking. What's
who
free,
shot
Jack?
past the
Get it
fixture.
back now.
So Charman's okay. Runs the wing, goes with a long bomb. Ackermanis could fly here. Does go from 4 deep. Can't bring the ball down. McWalton nearly. It's Dal Santo under all that. Toe pokes it to his own, so he can still see, at least. Gets the handball out. Graham. Acker's got him. Didn't quite wrap the hand up. Montagna. Thompson. Long ball. Hamill's on the move. Notting's with him. Gets the punch down. Hamill goes hard. Coming through Chris Johnson. The ever-present Chris Johnson. Hamill's put Notting down behind play. And it'll be a Brisbane line free.
Not advantage, so it goes back to where it was.
Well, it was Aaron Hamill who was reported in round 1, in that infamous round 1 game last year when he rearranged a few of Chris Scott's teeth, and he got off at the tribunal, Aaron Hamill, because Chris Scott said they just happened to fall out.
he has paid advantage there. Once you call advantage and they've got a free run at it, surely it's play on.
Suddenly Thursday night chaos. 86-44. Johnson drives it out very wide. Brennan. Well, too cool. In trouble. Now he goes again. Well played. That's the frustration of the young man. Comes away, kicks inside the 50, and getting on the end of it is Bradshaw.
He might even get it again here, Brennan. He's running on into the open goal square. No, but he is an amazing player. He goes one-handed. Look at that. He's gobbled up by 2, and then he's good enough to get away from them. But that doesn't always happen at league footy.
Bradshaw owes a goal too. His last effort at a ground footy is less than acceptable.
Bradshaw kicks, and he's missed out to the right. So when they've had their chances, they've simply been unable to convert.
Normally fairly accurate too. 42-21 last year. 40 goals, 13 in 2004. Long kick, straight down the middle. Big pack flies. Power tried to crumb at Fisher. Stolen. Ackland. Hayes left it behind. Fisher, Ackland, they'll start it again. Inside 50 towards Gehrig. Bouncing ball. Slapped out. Hamill way off the side of the boot. Out of bounds on the full. Dr. Peter Larkins.
Yeah, Jamie Charman's been on the bench with the doctor, just having his jaw and his cheekbone checked. He looks all right. He's just waving the jaw around. Looks like he's got no troubles, but they just brought him off after that clash behind play.
And here it is here. We suspect that he wasn't going for the head. We reckon he's trying to make some body contact.
Just got lucky.
It was solid contact, but he was probably aiming to just get it into the chest. Ruckman do that. Commonplace.
Jarman over the top. Brennan missed the mark. Hand pass from Dal Santo, taken by Graham. Thumps it back inside the forward 50. Michael punches away from his teammate Mills. They're in disarray down there. Lack of talking. Now there is some talking. The ball's out of bounds.
Yeah, that talk was a sorry, mate.
Yep.
Dominating the clearances there, as you can see. Very good. Lenny Hayes in close. Very good. Dal Santo, nimble feet.
Bad luck for the Saints. Riewoldt knocked it down. Milne missed it. Hamill across to Dal Santo, stood up in the tackle, gets it back to a teammate there in Montagna, long to the square, back goes Fraser and hacks it out of midair for a goal.
Well, I don't reckon Fraser Gehrig would have been, not Fraser Gehrig, I beg your pardon, Mel Michael. Watch him here, he gets pushed forward to the footy.
Yeah, he gets moved while he's in step.
Yeah, I guess that might be a bit harsh.
Why do I feel like I'm watching the fall of the Roman Empire? It's been around for, it seems like, ever. The Brisbane Lions as a dominant, bruising team. They're just crumbling.
So you believe we're watching the end of this Brisbane Lion Empire, do you, Dan?
As good as, mate.
I think the guy got his hand on it, then Fraser got his boot to it, so I think there's no worries about the goal.
Bounce. Ackland down to Hayes. Caught, dispossessed. Brown. Wobbles it inside 50. You can hear the umpire a little confused by it all. Bradshaw around the body. Needs an awesome bounce. Doesn't get it.
See, even that there, that's understanding. He's pulled that kick, and I would be sure that he's tried to chip that out in front of Brennan. But Brennan, let me be brutal in footy talk, couldn't be stuffed running on.
Everybody's got the Easter spirit. Boundary throw it in the pocket. Working in front. Ackland reaching over the top. Clark comes back to Ackland. Ackermanis off his step, snaps and kicks it behind.
What is the bet that they just about go coast to coast here? Because with the demeanour the Brisbane Lions are showing, they'll probably run it pretty easy. Oh, there's another footy out in the ground now.
It's like country footy, isn't it, when we get the two out there?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Just drive your car up to the fence. Turn the lights
We
off.
need that guy in the little mower with the cage over the top to drive out there and get the second footy. There's Baker, right half back, kicks it up towards the wing.
Haven't touched it yet, Brisbane.
Maguire dropped it, otherwise he was on his way. Here's Fiora, generally a key element in working it after a behind. McWalter.
Lining up out this side.
They still haven't touched it from the kick in Brisbane.
Clark spots Fisher. He's up
And
towards left half
Riewoldt
forward.
space.
Riewoldt on the move. He's going to get the football. Gets down, bounces off his chest. He hung on over the top. Whoa, one of the Dudley boys. Old habits die hard. Could have been 50, should have been 50.
A bit of treatment after. That's where the interest lies in this.
Yeah.
I reckon there's a 50 metres here. Have a look.
He's
right
won.
now.
Yes.
That's
boy.
50.
Oh, he's put the pinch on the midriff.
That's 50.
He's pinching every which way.
Don't blame Mel Michael for stretching it, but if he gets away with it.
There's Nick anyway, lining up at his fifth. He started brilliantly tonight. Right behind him. It's off to the right, however. Big leap down there, and Ackland has marked 5 metres out. Will be put on the angle. He marked it outside the square.
Well, it took a while, Dennis, but they've gone kick in to goal without Brisbane touching it.
Ackland. Formerly with the power. Puts it through, and the margin is blowing out.
Becoming just a little bit easy, and we've still got 28.5 minutes of footy left. Now, Mel's entitled to slide in there because the ball did bobble out there for a second. One to the throat, a pinch to the solar plexus, Dennis.
Killer Kowalski, that was his finishing move, actually. The claw hold, you might remember, Derv.
Thought he was putting him in the camel clutch.
First goal to Kane Ackland.
Fraser.
Fraser's going to chase him, but Copeland had to go and chase Milne.
Yeah, well, he should have just hit the deck then, Copeland. He would have got a free kick.
Fraser turned 30 last month, too. He's a Piscean, as we know. Pisces are gentlefolk.
Is that the correct call, is it, Dennis?
Yes.
Didn't know you were into the star signs.
Oh, he loves him.
Brown, Power, around the body towards half forward. Under it, Black. Thompson has been with him all night. Ackermanis through traffic, caught, dispossessed. Ball back to Black, now to Ackermanis. Sends it inside 50. It's a high bomb. Hooper's under it. Can't mark it. Ron Hooper gathers the crumb, rolls it toward goal, but they've got numbers back. Hudson, last line of defence. Into trouble. Handball out just in time. Dal Santo. And now Fisher, back pocket. 7.5 minutes from three-quarter time, and the Saints have it in their keeping. Goddard flies, good mark in front of Johnson.
They're working on that nose. Goddard. We'll hear more about that during the week. Over the top comes Hamill. In front, Lepich. Away to Notting. Look, taken down. Schwarz needs to be careful. Surrounded by 4 Brisbane players. That's holding the ball, surely. Well, not according to the umpire.
He pulled it back in.
40.
I thought he did.
7 goals up. Just great defensive effort. Holds the footy up at centre wing instead of having it inside Brisbane's forward line.
Got a wrestling. Ackland pushed it
off
down
too
behind. Harding was taken down. Lepich seems to be okay. Power, not often you see that. Works through the centre, goes down towards half forward. Brown. Hutchton there, step for step. This will be interesting. Brown, 75 metres from home, pulls it back across the body. Brennan from behind. Didn't touch the football as it turned out. Riscatelli's in front, running away from his own goal. Max decided to tackle him when the ball was on the ground. No free. Hayes into the path of McWalter. McWalter is running. Well played. Swings it out wide. Will this one stay in? It tracks the boundary initially, then goes away from Fiora.
26 possessions now for Lenny Hayes, and maybe he's got a long memory too. Thrown into the fence of the Gabba back in 2003, broke his arm. Next year he actually hit Tim Notting and got reported for striking and suspended for a couple of weeks. And he's making them pay tonight. Maybe another best on ground performance from him. 26 possessions in his first 2 games this year. Hamill. And now back to Hayes from Baker. 27 possessions for the night now for Lenny Hayes. Blake thought about playing on.
He's gone.
Did play on. Caught by Johnson. Ball's under Johnson. Nice little one-on-one. Goddard. McWalter. Can't quite pick it up. Clark was coming at him. Finally does. Dal Santo back into traffic. Loops the handball over the top. Back to Hayes. 28 possessions. And his 28th a good one. Finds Hamill.
Riewoldt's got space again. Now shut down now.
Just beyond his range. Sends it to Schwarz. And he will line up from just inside 50 if he wants to.
He's a thumping kick of the footy, this man. He should have a shot. Lenny Hayes, look, this is... It's the worst sign out of everything is that they just won't man up, Brisbane. Regardless of the state of the game, they won't play tight. Gut-busting, tight, man-on-man here.
First game of the year for Troy Schwarz. 7 games only last year. From 49, distance wasn't a worry.
Beautiful.
Neither was the accuracy.
Yeah, but it's not an arm wrestle. There's no contest in the middle of the ground. They continue to go with the flow. If Brisbane win the footy, oh, good, we'll get on the end of it. If St Kilda win the footy, well, Lenny Hayes is going to get on the end of it there. I mean, where do you draw the line? Somewhere you go, right, let's just go man on man here.
Well, I know the way Lou Matthews coached. I had a year under him. I played footy with him. He likes the starting position to be side on side if it's like this.
Brisbane lead it by a rubber. just kidding. St Kilda leading by 58 points.
Brown in the centre.
Blake taps it down.
He's
Harding in trouble. Hayes again, so much of the football. Blake towards half forward, reaching for it. Fiora, I think he's been paid the mark. And you've got to say, in this situation, Brisbane wearing these jumpers can't afford to lose by over 60 points. They look like the chorus from The Lion King. Here's Fiora, plays on, steps around Riscatelli. From about 65 metres out, goes long down towards full forward. Big, ugly pack. Mills camped in front, lays it off. Johnson runs away. Harding back to Johnson. Johnson to the run of Sherman. Chance here. Sherman is quick, gets through midfield. It's 2-on-1 down there, and the one was being held. That was Brennan.
That could be 50. Can't put a mouth guard out like that.
And you can't stamp your foot either, girl.
No, you can't anymore.
It's like a bull who's seen the cape there. He stamps that foot. We don't see it in replay.
Even that, though, Brennan, when they were coming through the centre with Sherman, Brennan ran back at about 60% to make position. There's no urgency about it.
Brennan, we're right behind him, needs to kick this one. That's better. Puts it through. Belated.
Still arguing. Now there's a jumper. Brennan had a bit of Voss's jumper. That is some control there. He just stopped himself mid-abuse, mid-tirade.
Mid-dummy spit.
Yeah, mid-spit. He just went, bang, I better stop right now.
Banks! Banks! I can't just keep it cool. Banks, look at the footy.
And I think what Brett Voss was concerned about was that maybe Brennan had his jumper in the left hand, but not enough. Some very impressive control. Stopping himself, that, we think.
Played 35 games for the Lions, did Brett Voss. Jared Brennan continues to get rewarded for going at the ball casually. It's only going to encourage him to do it the rest of his career. Through traffic, Riscatelli, Charmer, Voss. Spearing pass, here he is again, Brennan. Little casual 8 grabber. Just beyond his range. Sends it long. One-on-one goal square. Bradshaw hasn't had a good night. Fisher, that'll do. A behind.
104 plays 53. Just over 3 minutes till three-quarter time. Saints are dangerous in this situation. And as I said before, this man is generally a key. Takes them on. He's got license to run. He goes to the wing. Oh, brilliant. McWalter, like a scythe, goes inside the 50, lines up. Has it got the carry? Well, it's touch and go. Touch run on the line.
Now, there's an object lesson to be learned here. Riewoldt should have marked it. He tried to shepherd it through. It ran into the big fist of Mal Michael. Always mark it.
The reason they got it so clearly down is that the slow midfield of Brisbane set themselves a kick and a half back because they know they can't run with them. Then it just flies straight past them.
Sherman to Riscatelli long. Might have been Ackland that touched it in the end too. Brennan. Well, he's putting on a bit of a show at the moment.
Yeah.
One-handed pickup. Wobbles this. This couldn't surely roll through. Bounce. Brown, did he get a toe on it? It would be better if he missed it. It's a goal.
He's run into the post.
Oh, no. Yeah, this is the... don't worry about this. If this bloke goes down, that Roman Empire that you spoke about that had crumbled, Dermot, if he goes down, I'm not sure what happens.
If he goes down, the Vandals will run right through the place.
There's be some looting and pillaging going on.
Yes.
Because he's the one thing that means you just maintain the foundations. Well, this is the bigger story. Is Jonathan Brown. Let's go down to Doc Larkins.
Gary, if you just watch that, the right knee, that's the one he had surgery on in January this year, also at the end of the 2004 season. So the medial ligament gets a twinge. That's the one he's got very, very little cartilage in the lateral compartment. He'll be sore after that.
Reminiscent of Wayne Carey in a night match 2 years ago. Went into the post in Adelaide.
Out of the middle once more, Brisbane. Brennan, dangerous on the forward line in the last 5 minutes or so. Applies a tackle, but that was a careless one. Very high on Hayes. And Hayes will come up and get his 30th possession right here. And they're a bit lucky they didn't give up the 50, Brisbane.
Well, they have enjoyed a little 5-minute period here. And Brennan's just demonstrated to us all what he can do if he ever puts his mind to it.
There's Hayes in defence then. Up wide. Baker. Good win this for the Saints. They're building. Each week they're getting better.
If Lenny Hayes gets another 1 or 2 possessions in the next 90 seconds,
it is staggering.
He's going to be our first 40 possession player of the year.
Montagna comes behind where the lead was. Made it difficult to cross. It was. Michael came clattering into his brother Brett. Play-on's the call. And they tidy up. Riscatelli's got it. He got it from Brown. And that's heartening to see Brown get the kick.
It's going,
Brown still doesn't look convincing off the ball, does he? That knee is of some concern. Mills has got it now. He goes around the boundary yet again, and Goddard comes from behind, works his way in front and punches it out of bounds. Brennan's been good in this term, if a little unconventional. Thrown in. Bradshaw over the top. Dal Santo went down. Thompson tried to get a hand pass to Baker. Wide of the pack. Hooper has rarely seen it tonight. Voss under pressure kicks it directly to his brother. Some compassion there. A little makeup. Hayes. Beautiful kick. Well, Fiora, you just tell there, took a little easy. Johnson comes away. Chip passes. Powers got it. 60 metres from goal. Ackermanis with Fisher coming back. Well done. Well done by Fisher to Goddard. Ackermanis got to work a little harder. Away comes Goddard out of the back pocket. A precision kick to Thompson.
Andrew Thompson holds it up. He's 33, but he's a young 33, if you can be a young 33. Didn't make his AFL debut until the age of 24. Sends it to the midfield. Blake holds it up. And that'll just about do. Had the option of sending it inside 50 and hope for a last second mark But it's three-quarter time here at the Dome. Ackermanis is spent. The Brisbane Lions are spent. And Voss isn't happy with Ackland at the moment.
Well, he was a player
pushing and shoving.
Sharman, maybe that they just finally got around to remonstrating, but he just pushes him away. So
still going.
Well, we might just.
There's a few in here. That's getting big.
Final term, Thursday night football, 16-9, 8-11, St Kilda on top. Neither ruckman touched the ball. Hayes again. Thompson gets it away. Montagna, probing kick inside the forward 50. Hamill was up, punched away by Lepich.
Got no follow-up, Lepich.
Fiora running out of space. Didn't need an awful lot. Played it brilliantly to Thompson on the overlap. Goes to the pocket and Riewoldt. Riewoldt deep in the pocket. Looks towards the middle. Nothing on offer. Had a shot.
I think he will, because there's not too much on offer. The Brisbane have got the numbers back now, so you're 46 points up. You got 4 on the board. You've had a pretty fair night. I think you've earned the right.
As we said, collarbone broken in round 1. 6 goals in round 22. He misses to the near side. I was just building it up here. But he's got 4.
Well, Brown's gone to the full forward goal square for Brisbane, so he's obviously thinking to himself, I'm not willing to do all that much running, so he's going to look after that knee, I think, for the last 20 minutes of play.
Robert Copeland with the kicking goes long. Lepich might fly from 4 deep here. No, it's been marked. Blake. And now McWalter. Sees the man out wide and hits him. It's Maguire. He might kick a goal on Brown. Runs inside 50. Lines them up. And the captain gives them another one.
It'd be a little bit fair that he's not actually on, or is he? I think Max
Brown's
on Jonathan
Hutchinson's
Brown.
On him now, yeah.
So we'll find out who it is, though, Dwayne, and we'll finger him.
I've got a feeling it might be the boy Brendan, is it?
Is it?
I think so.
It was a beautiful kick. Will be interesting to see how they do fight this out. And
no, it's not.
No, we're still waiting. Bradshaw, I think.
Yep.
Here we go.
I think Daniel Bradshaw is the man that might have that goal against him. And now there's been a switch. Brown has come out to centre-half forward. You might be right, Dwayne, or the switch might have been made.
Blake to Hayes to Hamill. So Hayes now has 33 possessions. I said earlier his career high is 37. His best against Brisbane 35. So he's on that pace.
I want to talk about Lenny Hayes. Luke Power is playing on him now. The midfielders don't play on each other unless there's a hard tag, and they get a very good run. And it's been, I reckon it's been a slap in the face to the defenders who actually pick up a man, or anyone else that picks up a man, that no one's gone to Lenny Hayes tonight.
Well, you don't like ruckmen, you don't like midfielders, you don't like defenders. Who do you like?
Who play on their own turn.
You wouldn't have liked me then. There goes the kick from Hamill, and he's put it through.
Well, stand by. Go around the grounds. What's the margin going to be, Jim?
Well, first thing we'll talk about is, now Luke Power will run back to the centre of the ground, and he'll look down there and he'll say, come on, let tighten up on Aaron. But the fact is that Lukey Power is standing 10 metres away from Lenny Hayes, and that's his opponent. He's rolling the dice in a team that's going down by 10 goals.
Don't get sucked in.
First goal of the year for Aaron Hamill. Then a bit of pushing and shoving in the break. Fraser Gehrig, I think everybody knows he's around, as he likes to do. Ball back in the middle. In a great night for the Saints. Power got it to Stiller. Dispossessed. Clark to Hayes. Inside 50. Lepich gets back. Takes the knee. Ridden a little bit by Milne.
Yeah, Lukey Power is he's just got to play on him at some stage.
So 34 possessions now for Lenny Hayes. Ball wide. He might get another one. No, toe poked away from him. And the ball it will be Lenny Hayes' ball.
Luke Power's he's a great kid and a very good player.
Yes.
He is 45 metres from Lenny Hayes now.
Andrew Thompson got the free.
It's not like he snuck under your guard. He's got 34 on the board.
Sends it long, does Andrew Thompson. Had another good night. Riewoldt got hands to it. Strong hands too. Couldn't hold it. Hayes, do we count that one? Ball hits the deck. Rolls out to Power.
Oof.
He gets one on Hayes. Got it to Voss. It was slick. Brown gathers on the wing. Voss sends it wide, hoping for Brennan. Gets there. Takes the mark. Little give to Harding. And now Clark. Mitch Clark. Punched away from him by Hudson. Xavier Clark gets it wide. Fisher back to Hudson, and they can reload on the open side.
Hudson going for distance, hasn't got the carry. Charman. That was intended for Maguire. He was trying to go an extra 15 metres, and he didn't have it in him.
I reckon little Rowan Hooper was probably the closest to the drop of this footy, but he saw Jamie Charman coming through. Oh, no, you have it.
Seniority.
Yeah, we don't want friendly fire now.
Charman. The kicking for goal has been poor tonight.
No, it hasn't been that good. Oh, stuttering there.
Not convincing, but still, it's a good kick. It's a beautiful kick.
He's their best goal kicker.
He puts it through.
Well, they take risks this time. When you're 10 goals up or better, you're entitled to take risks, and just makes a skill error. Pops it on the instep of the foot, and that's why it curls a bit around up the centre of the ground. Gee, the one thing is Lenny Hayes, when we come back, he'll start 2-3 metres defensive side behind Blake. Lukey Power starts the other side, directly opposite the circle.
All right, here we go.
2 goals to Charman. Kicked a couple last week as well. Ball back in the middle. Charman to do the ruck work against Blake. And Blake slaps it. Slaps it all the way past Hamill. Lepic towards the wing. Stiller was there but couldn't grab it. Dal Santo.
I'll tackle him, son.
As good as it gets. Slips a short pass to Fiora.
He's on again.
Sends it. Oh, he sends it to where he didn't really want to send it, the pocket. And it's out of play. We'll get a ball in.
He had Dal Santo on again. He'd run into the space. All he needed to do was pop it over the top. What about this for ball control?
Yep.
Fantastic.
What was the boy Stiller doing then? He actually
first
gave
game,
him the...
Tim.
No, but he gave him the Olay. Through you go. Lifted the cape.
Hayes somehow emerges with the football. Stolen by Black, who's been pretty quiet tonight. In front is Stiller, who takes the mark. Half back. Difficult coming into a side. Play your first game in these circumstances, though. Diving at it is Brown. Hudson did well, stifled the punch. Brown now, or rather Black, was taken down. It was a great tackle. It got him down. Hamill, Fiora's hand pass comes to Montagna, who spots a man in behind the defence, and it's Hayes.
Yes, sir.
Hayes coming up for possession number 35. So he's equalled his best against Brisbane. And racing in a shadow role tonight, this is Montagna, or rather Dal Santo. Hard to tell.
Looks like a mother stork.
Just pops it up in the air. Fraser comes in from the side, but the strong mark is taken by Charman. He's not been disgraced tonight.
No, I reckon that's a good call, Dennis. He's actually really shown some heart. He's charged in at the bounces.
50.
So 50 metres, I think somebody was holding on.
Not big stats for Charman, but he's
right
really
from
had a...
just Stephen Milne grabbed the jumper when he was in the marking contest.
Just nuisance value.
Which we love him for. It was nuisance value in this third term when he kicked a couple. He's got 3 tonight, has Milne. Short pass to Copeland. Heads it wide, hoping for Jonathan Brown. Hodgson's hand wins out, thumped it down. He kept Richardson to 1 goal last week. Max Hodgson, and another good night tonight, although Brown slips the attempted tackle. Takes some time, loads up, long ball. Mitch Clark got it.
He is a class above the rest of his teammates, still Jonathan Brown, and we look at him and assume he is somewhat injured. And watch the power, even with a bung knee and no cartilage, and watch the power he stands up through this.
It's got 3 metres. Make it 5 now.
There's not many good cartilages in that exchange, Dave.
No.
This is the young kid that was in hospital draft week with meningococcal. There was a doubt whether he'd be drafted or not, and Brisbane took him with their #1 pick. He does look like being a good player, and we'll see better kicks from him than that behind. And Fraser has a sit down.
Graham to bring it in against his old club. And he's fitting in very nicely. Let's see if they can take it coast to coast. It's going to be hard now to hold up so there's no flow coming out. Dal Santo to Montagna.
Well, from their 11 previous kick-ins, Dennis, they've gone past the centre on 8 of those occasions. So they're having a good run with it tonight.
So this is the man.
Montagna in trouble to Thompson. This is a lot of work to get it out of defence. Fisher back to Thompson to Fisher to Montagna. They're fattening the stats. He pops it. They're still inside the defensive 50 as that mark was taken by Baker. Now it opens up for them a little bit. Clark is told to play on. He moved on a couple of steps. Ackermanis goes after him. Dal Santo against the boundary line. That's a clever kick. Fiora's got it. How many possessions to move it this far? I'd estimate about 14. Comes across the ground. McWalter.
Oh, they're going to go the whole way.
They are. Hudson Ackland is on. Ackland is meters in the clear. He's got the ball inside the 50, can take it and go. Well, hardly subtle, and he kicks it off the side of the boot. Coming back, Riewoldt.
And they still didn't touch it, Dennis.
Who's in the contest?
Brisbane.
Well, there's no Nick Dal Santo, Big Ackland, let's be honest. But he got around, and it was just a shocking kick.
Thanks, Nick.
Milne kicked as many goals as he's had words tonight. He would have broken.
But you know he's very pleased with what he's got to say because he took the mouth guard out. He wanted the bloke to hear it.
9th mark for Nick Riewoldt.
Going at number 5. He's kicked it.
Oh, good take.
It was a good take.
Well, he's been very good, Nick Riewoldt. He's got 5 goals on the board. The young man who's they've persevered with him, and he'll be learning as he goes. Wade Mills, he's been okay. He found a kick that perhaps a touch straighter, but have a look at this. This is the disappointing thing. Dennis called it, but no Brisbane Lion player to me looked like he was busting his boiler to get close to his opponent.
Yeah, I'm glad you said boiler.
Five goals for Riewoldt. And they haven't really been troubled for a good quarter and a half, the Saints. Ackland winning the ruck work now, got it down to Hayes, who got a possession. Scatelli caught, good tackle, dispossessed. Voss got it over to the first gamer, Stiller. High inside 50, back with the flight, Maguire.
Oh.
Captaining the side for the second time tonight, Maguire with ball out of the team again. Kick wide, Sherman takes the mark.
Voss, we'll say what we like about him, but he keeps going, Michael Voss. He finds a footy.
And he sends it toward half forward. Nice pass. Scatelli from 50, runs it to 48 and gets himself a consolation prize.
Well, I suspect that Voss might even be on Hayes now, so give Luke Power a little bit of a break. He's gone on the Nick Dal Santo, might be second on ground.
That is the first time, first centre bounce in this last quarter, somebody stood next to Lenny Hayes.
Exactly, Dermot. Then it was Voss.
Yep.
Exactly right.
And followed it up.
So
well, he's a magnet tonight, so if you stand next to him, it might go wrong by half a metre on one occasion.
He got it in the end, Voss.
Yeah, I know.
19-10, 10-12 Thursday night football. Lenny Hayes now 36 possessions. Nick Dal Santo has 28. Does that count?
Oh, he's getting sick of getting it.
It was line ball, wasn't it? Clark, Dal Santo, he got a possession. Hamill, Dal Santo, a couple there, breaks away. Has the bounce, kicks inside the forward 50. Riewoldt, this will be interesting. Lets it run on. Mill. Riewoldt was back on his heels, didn't realise what was going to happen there. In any case, it's called a throw by umpire Marty Ellis.
Under pressure, when St Kilda are under extreme pressure, in tight, in close, like they were in the back pocket a couple of minutes ago, he is your get-out-of-jail card, Nick Dal Santo. He can make space in the tightest of corners and get a good delivery away.
Lepic across the ground to Power. Comes back towards centre-half back, and Notting hasn't seen a lot of the football.
I mean, we've been a bit critical of Voss and these blokes tonight, but the blokes like Notting are the ones who've got to now stand up and take on some responsibility.
Johnson runs around the outer side wing. Brown on a hard searching lead. He certainly hobbled.
Pull up then.
He's not going that well. Kicks inside the 50, and you perhaps doubt the wisdom of leaving him out there. This is Clark in the back pocket, or rather the forward pocket. Pulls it back. Charming with strength, and will be penalised. Fisher paid the free kick. Voss paid the advantage. And now it's centre half back. Fiora, like a relay runner, takes the ball and moves on.
Hoping for Hamill. Flies. Not quite. Second effort good. Looks it wide. Little Mill caught this time. Hamill just so he could get it again if he wanted to. Umpire says ball. The Hamill didn't go far enough, obviously. Copeland's free. And a good little one-on-one to watch that. Chip kick, good. Stiller. Shaney Stiller. Nice debut after brought up to the main list from the rookie list during the week with the injury to Pat Garner, who goes onto the long-term injury list. Dr. Peter Larkin, speaking of injuries.
Just to mention, Fraser's finished for the night sitting on the bench. He's decided that hamstring can get a rest. Simon Black also off with a left ankle injury. And when we've got time, I'll explain why Matty Maguire got that goal, because Daniel Bradshaw had torn his groin and couldn't run.
Okay.
Well, they're in a world of hurt, Brisbane.
They are. Sherman caught. Boy, you're in a world of hurt if Hamill gets it.
They will Fettingham have trouble fielding 22 players next week.
Guess who's going to get it?
Lenny Hayes. Number 37 coming up.
Well, that's his equal highest, round 10, 2004 last time, Dennis.
No doubt about you, Durham.
Nah.
There's Thompson.
Repeat, yeah.
What a team. Towards full forward. Johnson goes back though and takes the mark. So we're waiting for number 38 with bated breath. 124 to 72. This is Sherman around the outer side. At the present time, it's a long way from Lenny, who's at right half forward at the other end. There goes the kick from Lepich, and it's fumbled across the line by Clark. And really, that says it all tonight.
Have a look at their next four. They've got the Tigers at the Gabba, and then they have the biggest road trip in AFL back at home, and then just down the coast to the Gold Coast against the Hawks, round 7. Carrara.
3 sort of home games out of the next 4. Ball back into play.
Don't know if
does the ruck work.
Don't know if I'll tip them away from home again this year.
What about Carrara, Jim?
Yeah, they're better than 50-50 just.
We're looking forward to Carrara on Sunday ourselves.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Melbourne playing Adelaide there on Sunday.
We'll set off like 3 wise men. It's a bit of a pilgrimage, isn't it?
It'll be fun. And follow that start.
Well,
Dennis.
Leave when it's dark.
Ball back. Wade Mills.
Careful with the pressure.
Hasn't had the most enjoyable of nights, and kicks this one straight to the waiting Baker. Sends it long. Mal Michael gets there in front of Riewoldt. Gets the boos from the crowd with long memories. And they'll set it up again, the Brisbane Lions, to Johnson.
They're booing with gusto. Yes, Gary Lyon, unfortunately, off the crew this week. I think in Brereton, out Lyon. And the selectors had a meeting, and it was unanimous, wasn't it, Dwayne?
Oh, no, happy about it.
I think it's a 7 o'clock plane from Melbourne to Brisbane. And then the drive up, but I won't bore you with that. There goes the short one from Brennan. Taken by McGrath. Hurried kick from 52 metres down towards the pocket. Clark cleverly found it on the deck and hand passed away. Needed to kick it. Maguire pops it out to Ackland. Whoops. That football's got a mind of its own. Charman came hard, was taken down solidly. Ackland tried to get away. Well done by young Harding. Coming through is Lepich. They deserve a goal for that hard work. And Lepich has provided it. Terrific.
Well, they're in autopilot now, just cruising through to the end, and well, the Saints are pumping up their stats here. Lenny might end up going home with 50. And the left, just a little break of the tackle there. Good kick in the end. Schooled as a centre-half forward as a kid. Went to Brisbane as a forward as a kid. And Lee Matthews in '99 turned him around and turned him into an All-Australian fullback.
Justin Lepich also getting himself a consolation prize. Hasn't been an enjoyable night for Justin Lepich. May face the tribunal during the week. His first goal. Better news for the Saints, not just the scoreline, but they've got a couple of injury concerns. Almost an 11-day break between this and their next game, which is on Anzac Monday. From the ball up, Fixter can't get clear, and we'll get another ball up.
Yep, Joey.
Fraser Gehrig having a spell. Robert Harvey already with the tracksuit on. Hudson and Voss also on the bench. Ackland knocked it down, but to Fixter. Outside of the foot, kicks toward half forward. Bouncing ball, Baker got there and wanted it. Beat McGrath, kicks it towards the wing. High ball, Goddard might fly. It does, but it crutches Stiller. Stiller will get the free.
Stevie Milner's away too. Can't underestimate the job that Baker's done on Ackermanis. Ackermanis has just had 7 kicks, no handballs. So 7 possessions for the night to Acker. Stephen Baker just gets the job done.
Goddard turned his head on the contact and didn't look at the footy. That's the free kick.
Big fly, Charman takes the mark.
Good mark, Jamie. Stay there, let him
Just
run, let him
outside
run.
50. Goes toward Mitch Clark, getting back Jonathan Brown. That'll do.
Good play on.
Gets away from Maguire for a short second, and we'll have a shot at goal.
Had a flashback to Robert Harvey then, Jonathan Brown did. He could have played on, but he might also have got run down from behind. So wise decision just to turn around and go back and slot through what should be a pretty simple goal.
Also, the other thing is, too, if you get taken down in a tackle, when you're just slightly off balance, even if you're rushing, you do get the goal away. It does hurt a knee that is not that well endowed with cartilage.
For goal number 3 for the night. And he drives it into the post. Into both posts. It's pretty hard to do. He only gets the one behind for it.
Steve Maguire runs up and pats him on the forehead.
I think the rule makers will look at that, though,
Yeah,
right?
you think so? And
think
play
so.
on. 2 points and play on if it comes back in, Dennis.
Yes.
Gone over the line, that kicking.
Don't be pedantic.
Well, he did, sorry.
Scores. Too
Kicking
late.
the rules.
Too late in the night for that. Here's Charman.
Yeah, let's let them all go out the window then.
Yeah. Play without rules for the last 5 minutes.
Let Mel Michael get up there and throw away the rule book.
Survivor Series. There's Ackermanis. Coming up for his 8th possession. Turns around, didn't even line it up.
No, that's
and he's
stupid.
kicked it accordingly.
That is just, he actually kicked too close to the man on the mark. And if you look at him, his shoulders are all lopsided.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
I think some of that blonde has penetrated. 124 to 80. 4:20 remaining in the contest. Here's Fisher in the back pocket. He's had plenty of the
If
ball.
that's play on, that's a throw-in.
Remember what we said. Brown goes up and takes the mark. No rules. Brown made it hard for himself. Stiller smothered off the boot brilliantly by Milne. How about that? Under 4 minutes to go. The margin is 44 points. And Stevie Milne, notorious as a goal kicker, prevents a forward move from Brisbane. Wonderful stuff. That will go on the Saints highlight reel.
From the ball in, Sherman, power, short pass is okay. Nodding. He spots the runner, Chris Johnson. Got some space in front of him. Thought about taking it all the way. Spears the pass. Xavier Clark kind of went one-handed. Lays the tackle on McGrath, didn't have it. And they get out of trouble. Long, wide ball. Off hands from Thompson. And it's out of play. We'll get a ball in.
I don't think Xavier Clark's effort there is going to make the highlight reel. He should have gone harder and should have marked the footy St Kilda's next 4 weeks. Bought Amy Stadium, Aurora Stadium for the Dockers. Bulldogs in Geelong, that's a tough run.
Back into play, but they're looking good at the moment. They slowly worked their way into this season. Sherman gets it wide. Power from 40, kicks a goal. Got a couple.
Well, they sneaked to within the 7-goal margin now. And ironically, they've been inside their own forward line more times than St Kilda have at the other end. 43-42 inside 50s. But it's been a junk stat that's got them there in the end. They've been pumped up in this last quarter, and they just haven't had that flow on efficiency when they came forward. Riewoldt's damage in the first quarter set the tone.
Another one of those situations where the scoreboard will finally flatter the loser. Dal Santo. And having said that, they've kept on coming. It's just that St Kilda have cut them a fair bit of slack. There's power again Pumps it out of the middle. McWalter.
Oh, another one.
Yes, yes. This is number 38. This is a career best. What a game he's played. What a season he's having.
We don't mind a little bit of sharing now and pump up the stats. Get him to 4-0.
Well, he was averaging 26 a game coming in. Goes back across the ground as Montagna, who's had plenty of the ball too. What's he up to now? 24. Here's Maguire. Nobody stands the mark, so he goes for a run. Drives it long down towards half forward. Hamill should mark, and he does. He was pushed in the back. He didn't mark. Take it all back. Here's Mills. He got it from Brennan. Kicks to the outer side. In front. Clark is going to get the free kick against Brown. Tough night for Brisbane.
Let's go!
They're shiner too.
Yeah. Close.
Charging up as Copeland, who punches it out of bounds. Where's Mill now? He'll be talking some more, I would think, if he's anywhere within earshot.
He's getting a bit of coverage from young Shane Stiller. Back inside 50, covering for him. They'll swap over opponents soon, one would imagine.
Be raving about Nick Dal Santo's 30 possessions if it wasn't for Lenny Hayes.
And they've all been pretty high quality too for Dal Santo.
Sherman tries to break through Thompson.
What?
Lenny Hayes was there. He couldn't thread it through. Sherman took it back, gave it to Charman. Wide ball, Brennan. Loosely, casually into it. Got called to play on. Wants to make it more difficult for himself. Sends it long, and Maguire takes the mark in front of Jonathan Brown.
He plays like Vinny Barbarino, doesn't he? Don't you think, Dylan?
Well,
you want to explain it?
No.
Okay. On the wing. Sherman's caught. Well, how will the umpire adjudicate there? He'll do it. Very the ball up.
He's very cool.
but the two players, you identified one, Gary, and that is Tim Notting and Brennan. They are two boys who are well capable of coming up to the next level. Been around a while now, and are not picking up the slack on the end of the road.
There's Blake. Just over a minute remaining. Inside the forward 50. Punched away by Copeland. In comes Mill. We've seen that before. Power made it personal. Got to him. Long kick down towards full forward. On his knees, Notting gets it off to Michael. Met solidly was Riewoldt. That was Copeland who came in hard. Lepich around the outer side, and the mark is taken by Sherman.
Loops the handball to Power. Back to Sherman. He's got Mitch Clark. He goes wide to Ackermanis. And Acker takes the mark in the pocket. To some booze. Let's see if he takes some time. No, waste no time. Spears it toward goal. Big fly, Charman couldn't bring the mark down. It's a behind. Once again, Acker probably should have had a bit longer to think about it. Chip kick good. That's a casual takeaway, Jason Graham. Couple of bounces. Back to Fisher, who's been good. Slips. Caught by Mitch Clark. Harding came hard through Clark's legs. Everybody just waiting for this, though. The Roman Empire, as Dermot said, may be crumbling before our eyes, but we might see another empire being built. St Kilda, 1910, 124. The Brisbane Lions, 12-15, 87. And that is a flattering scoreline, given that at one point the Saints were 10 goals in front.
Yes, they were indeed. They've had, the Saints have just been very, very impressive over the 3-week period. They've got better and better as each week has rolled along. And the concern